Hi, I'm Chuck Gifford, and I'll be reading you selections from this week's April the 30th Nantucket Inquirer Mirror. The first story today comes from the top of the front page and is headlined, The $137 Million Question. Our Island Home Returns to Town Meeting by Dean Geddes, April 28th. The $137 million question facing voters next week is financial and deeply personal. They must decide whether the island is willing to pay the steep cost of building and maintaining a new town-owned nursing home or accept the eventual loss of on-island care. Article 11 asks voters to approve $119 million in borrowing to fund a new $137 million skilled nursing facility at Sherburne Commons. The measure requires a 2/3 vote at town meeting and a simple majority at the ballot box. The plan calls for a roughly 50,000 square foot, one-story facility with 45 beds, most of them private, and projected occupancy of around 42 residents. It would be built on the campus of Sherburne Commons Elder Living Community. But the decision extends far beyond the upfront cost. Annual support is projected to start at roughly $14.8 million. It would climb to more than $17 million by year 10. Over the first 20 years, total costs are estimated at roughly $358 million to $380 million, according to figures presented to town boards. That total includes paying off the $119 million borrowed to build the facility along with the expected operating costs. We're going to be spending essentially $17 million a year. It doesn't go away, FinCom member Anthony Gumon said. I think the question is, to what extent is this town prepared to spend, let's say, 10% of its operating budget per year just on maintaining a facility for 45 people. But for many families, the issue goes beyond numbers. It's about whether loved ones can remain on Nantucket in their final years. At our island home, families visit daily. Classmates from decades earlier share meals together, and residents are cared for by staff who often know them personally. Those connections would be hard to maintain if care were moved off island. FinCom member Chris Glowacki said the town could absorb the cost if it's something voters want, pointing to Nantucket's relatively low property tax rate compared to other communities despite high home values. If we pay for this and we cover that subsidy, nothing bad is going to happen to Nantucket. The real estate market isn't crashing because of real estate rates. Unlike many communities, we can actually afford this, he said. Town manager Libby Gibson said that the choice is stark: approve a new facility or begin planning for the eventual closure of the current nursing home on East Creek Road, a process expected to unfold over 3 to 5 years. The proposal returns after a nearly identical article fell just 33 votes short of the required 2/3 majority last year. Updated estimates put the total project cost at just over $137 million, roughly $3 million higher than the figure presented to voters last year. Town officials have said that the project that went out to bid is the same as the one that previously was considered. Our island home currently operates at an annual deficit of about $5 million, which is covered by taxpayers. It is the last municipally operated nursing home in Massachusetts. The financial concerns divided the Finance Committee, which narrowly voted not to recommend the article in a 4-3 vote. Opponents have questioned whether the town can justify the sale of the investment, particularly given other financial demands, and have raised concerns about the long-term impact on taxpayers. In addition, they have questioned who the facility would ultimately serve. Federal rules would prevent the town from limiting admissions to Nantucket residents, meaning islanders would not be guaranteed priority for beds. Capital Program Committee Vice Chair Howard Matz said that if voters chose to move forward with the project, they should do so with a clear understanding of the long-term financial commitment. We have to realize that they're approving something that's going to be operating at a significant loss over a long period of time, Matt said. A preliminary list of major projects the town has referred to as, quote, a collision report, end quote, identifies more than $1 billion in potential borrowing needs over the next decade, including coastal resilience projects, a new Department of Public Works facility, school improvements, and other infrastructure investments. Ultimately, the vote will again force residents to weigh the value of maintaining on-island nursing care against the financial burden of building and operating a new facility. Our next story, still on the front page, is headlined, Lewis Johnson Named 2026 Nantucket Scholars by Sarah Roberts, April 28th. The Nantucket Golf Club Foundation on Tuesday named high school seniors Danielle Lewis and Maya Johnson as its 2026 Nantucket Scholars. Each will receive a full-ride scholarship to the college, university, or technical school of their choice. If I had to give you a amount of emotion I'm feeling right now, I would count all the atoms of the universe and still not get close, Lewis said shortly after the announcement. Lewis committed early to Massachusetts Institute of Technology to study biomedical engineering. Johnson is still deciding where she will want to study business between the University of Connecticut, Northeastern University, and Villanova University. I'm so grateful for all of this, and I'm so thankful for everyone. Everyone was so deserving of it, and I'm just so grateful, Johnson said. Just before recognizing every finalist, Nantucket Golf Club Foundation Executive Director Tom Brissett said that the 2026 scholar and professional finalists were the largest class yet at 27. The rest of the scholar finalists are Annie Ard, Estella Groh, Jacob Henke, Bianca Yap, Fiona Keltz, Sadie Patterson, Preslava Penkova, Phoenix Ray, Gavin Smith, and Sayem Tapamaga. The professional finalists were Emery Bouchard, Adriana Graham, Diana Garcia, Chelsea Gross, Charlotte Hoyleman, Cora Eller, Caitlin Conkle, Justice Cromarty, Dorian Manoff, William Martin, Carly Ray, Xavier Rivas Rodon, Stephanie Tejada Aguilar, Ryder Tartamella, and Dakara Turner. All of the professional and scholar finalists will receive a significant scholarship to a school of their choosing. For nearly 2 decades, the Nantucket Golf Club Foundation has awarded 2 Nantucket high school seniors 4-year tuition and fees scholarships to the institution of their choice through its Nantucket Scholar Program. In 2018, the program expanded to create a professional scholarship program to award students interested in pursuing careers in the trades or non-traditional college or university track. Nantucket Scholar applicants are evaluated by a committee of community leaders, including Brissett, Michael Kozort, former superintendent of Nantucket Public Schools, Alan Cunha, owner of La Languedoc Inn and Bistro, Peter Greenhouse, formerly of the Artists Association of Nantucket and the Inquirer Mirror, and Janelle Gurley, Director of Science and Programming at Maria Mitchell Association. The Professional Scholarship Review Committee includes Brissett, Kozort, Grace Hull, Director of Member Services at Nantucket Golf Club, Amy Lee, President and CEO at Nantucket Cottage Hospital, and Roberto Santamaria, Executive Director of Fair Winds. Isabella Day, a 2014 Nantucket Scholar recipient, serves as the Foundation's Administrative Director. Founded in 2002, the mission of the Nantucket Golf Club Foundation is to promote the positive development and enrichment of Nantucket children. Its charitable initiatives include recurring grant and scholarship programs, as well as occasional capital contributions. Our next story, the last of the front page, it's headlined, 911 dispatchers allege that they were denied detail work, faced retaliation for complaining, by Dean Geddes, April 24th. Several 911 dispatchers say that they were denied access to lucrative outside detail work allowed under their union contract for multiple seasons, while seasonal non-sworn community service officers were permitted to perform those assignments. They say those who raised concerns faced retaliation. On an island where a single day of traffic detail can pay around $600 and rent costs thousands per month, the dispute has escalated beyond internal complaints and union grievances. The amount of money at stake is significant. Town records from 2024 show that many community service officers were able to supplement their income through third-party detail work, with most earning a few $1,000s in additional detail pay and some reaching into the mid-five figures. One CSO earned more than $89,000 in additional detail pay. Dispatchers, by contrast, show no earnings in that category. Assistant Communications Supervisor Patrick Considine has filed complaints against Police Chief Jody Casper and department leadership with multiple state agencies, and he and several other dispatchers are now going public. We had emails, we had every piece of proof, and it was denied at every step, Considine said. The only thing we have left is to go public. The complaints alleged discrimination, retaliation, and contract violations, including claims that a department directive included Considine's signature, even though he said he never signed it, and that a surveillance camera was relocated in the dispatch center during the grievance process. Police Chief Jody Casper confirmed the current union contract allows dispatchers to pursue detail work, but said that additional steps, including training standards, uniforms, and scheduling, must be established before it can be implemented. She denied allegations of retaliation. At the center of the dispute is access to outside detail work. These assignments, such as directing traffic or working road construction projects, often pay significantly higher hourly rates and can substantially increase annual income. Dispatchers allege that they were denied those opportunities despite language in the union contract permitting eligible employees to participate, which took effect in fiscal year 2024. You work one day of a detail, you can make $600. It's a huge difference, and it can really change things for you, one of the dispatchers said. Two other dispatchers, speaking on condition of anonymity for fear of retaliation, said that their experiences were consistent with Considine's account, describing similar concerns about being denied access to detail assignments and facing retaliation after raising concerns internally. They also allege discriminatory treatment, noting that many of the dispatchers are identified in the complaint as members of a protected classes based on age or race. Considine filed a formal complaint with the Massachusetts Attorney General's office on April 16th, alleging discrimination, retaliation, wage violations, and a hostile work environment, according to documents reviewed by the Inquirer and Mirror. He has also submitted complaints to the Massachusetts Peace Officer Standards and Training Commission, alleging misconduct by department leadership, including the handling of internal complaints and access to detail work. The Post Commission declined to confirm or deny whether any investigation is underway, but said agencies are required to report credible complaints and initiate internal reviews. The state's Criminal Justice Information System did not respond to a request for comment. Dispatchers said that they attempted to resolve the issue through internal channels before going public, including filing complaints with the department, meeting with supervisors and pursuing the union grievance process. They said those efforts were denied at every step. "We tried to go through the proper channels. It doesn't get you anywhere," one dispatcher said. Casper denied that pursuing a grievance has any bearings on how the department treats employees. The department does not consider whether an employee has pursued a grievance when addressing unrelated employment matters, she said. Any allegation of retaliation is taken seriously and would be promptly and thoroughly investigated in accordance with the established policies. In addition to the state filings, Constantine filed multiple internal police reports earlier this year documenting workplace complaints. Those reports, reviewed by the Inquirer Mirror, were classified as, quote, general police reports, end quote, and include allegations of an incident with a superior officer in which Constantine said he was directed to attend a meeting with the police chief. He said he refused because he was off duty and did not have union representation, and that he was placed on suspension shortly thereafter. He is currently still on suspension. Casper declined to comment on specific grievances, citing ongoing personnel matters, but said complaints are reviewed through a multi-step process. Grievances move through multiple steps, and the facts of a matter are reviewed at each level, she said. Reviewers evaluate the information, review the contract language, and make a determination of whether there was a contract violation. In one report, Constantine said his name was included as a witness in a police report tied to a criminal case, despite him never being interviewed or providing a statement, and that he was removed from the case as a witness only after bringing it to the attention of the district attorney in court. In another, he said a departmental directive related to pay details and secondary employment included his signature, even though he said he never signed or acknowledged it. In a separate finding, Constantine alleged that during an ongoing grievance process, Deputy Chief Charles Gibson relocated a surveillance camera in the dispatch center in a workspace that also serves as the dispatcher's designated break area. Constantine also alleges that community service officers were assigned to traffic and road details for multiple seasons before being required to complete formal certification in 2025, raising concerns about whether those assignments were properly authorized. Regarding concerns about training and certification, Casper said that all personnel assigned to traffic or detail work are in compliance with applicable state regulations. She said the department requires non-sworn personnel in 2025 to complete a Massachusetts certification course before being assigned to roadway traffic control. Casper also said that the department supports expanding opportunities for non-sworn personnel to participate in outside detail work once the necessary framework is in place. "We look forward to our non-sworn personnel working outside details if they're interested," she said. "This would provide an additional potential revenue stream for our employees and would help to support roadway projects by having more members of the department available to work details." While Casper said that the department looks forward to implementing the detail work provision once the framework is in place, the dispatchers say that the framework should have been ready years ago. The next story is headlined, "Turf Debate Heads to Town Meeting Floor" by Sarah Roberts, April 29th. The debate that has captured many Islanders' attention since September could finally come to a head at annual town meeting on Monday with a vote on Article 12. Article 12 asks voters to appropriate $25 million for school athletic facility improvements, including a hotly debated synthetic turf and track surface. The renovation also includes a new grandstand, improved lighting that will comply with Nantucket's dark sky requirement, a new booster shack with concession stand, restrooms, a new field house, and will bring the entire facility into ADA compliance. Proponents of the project say that an artificial turf field and synthetic track surface are necessary for the amount of usage the fields get with the robust athletics program at Nantucket High School that is continuing to grow. This entire project is driven by a campus that's being used far beyond what it was designed to handle. After years of delays driven by continued opposition, those conditions have only worsened and are impacting the safety and the experience of our students, Graham Vesey, a parent in favor of the article, said. This may be one of the most scrutinized articles in town meeting history. It has been thoroughly reviewed, vetted, debated, and tested. The turf field, will not be installed unless it meets standards. At some point, we need to trust the evidence, move forward, and let the kids play, she continued. Vesey also emphasized the other building components of the project as an important factor of why she wants the article to pass. It's so much more than just a track and a field. Kids get to host home track meets that bring our Nantucket kids home, Vesey said. The community gets actual bathrooms, which is a major upgrade. The lighting that's going to be state-of-the-art and dark skies compliant, and the grandstands, that to me is just unbelievable. The fact that so many in the community that haven't been able to attend the games the way that they want and cheer on, whether it's their kids, their grandkids, and now everybody can show up and support the Whalers. Opponents have been expressing serious concerns regarding contaminant and PFAS exposure on the island. The Board of Health had considered tabling the project over these concerns, but during their April meeting, the board moved away from a proposed moratorium. Quote, "This is a public resource that has been publicly funded, so the only way that this should be handled is at the most safe level possible, and I would think that that would be a rotated field, managed organically, and we can do it. We have the resources, we have the people, we have the companies, and for $25 million, I'm pretty sure we have the money," end quote, Lee Moyer, a citizen who has spoken against the article, said. Moyer said that she feels like we don't know enough about the risks involved with the synthetic turf to install it. We don't even have testing standards for these chemicals or the whole body of chemicals and the way that they react in the environment and in our bodies, she said. I think on another level, I care so deeply about the environment, I just feel like this is very out of character for Nantucket, she continued. School officials have pushed for the project to be approved, citing that the usage hours of the current facility and the thorough testing procedures that will be in place even before the field is installed on the island. Moyer is far from the only one still concerned about the testing protocols. At the Board of Health meeting, the board voted to support ongoing collaboration between Nantucket Land and Water Council, the Nantucket Public Schools, and the Health Department to develop a testing and monitoring program for the proposed field, work that is already underway prior to the board's vote. Differences remain between the parties over the scope of testing, including whether materials such as adhesives should be tested for PFAS and whether the track itself should be sampled. The Nantucket Land and Water Council has pushed far more extensive testing and ongoing monitoring. Willa Arsenault, Environmental Program Coordinator for the Nantucket Land and Water Council, said the organization cannot support the project in its current form, pointing to incomplete testing, the absence of baseline and ongoing monitoring, and a lack of cost-benefit analysis of a natural grass alternative. That framework is expected to focus on evaluating potential impacts from PFAS and other contaminants associated with artificial turf materials. The specific batch of turf that will be installed on the island will be tested before it is shipped here, representatives from Weston and Sampson have said. Other batches of the turf that will be installed here that have been tested have consistently come back non-detected for PFAS, they added. There will also be a drainage system underneath the turf field and in between the track and field to carry any water runoff and prevent it from seeping into the soil on the island. This is also will be tested throughout the use of the fields to ensure that there are not harmful levels of PFAS. The independent third-party scientists that we called upon to help us with this project are incredibly knowledgeable in toxicology, particularly PFAS chemistry, risk assessment, and hydrology. Some of them have worked with the town of Nantucket on other important projects. I'm fully confident that they would alert us to anything that could be harmful to the community. I feel confident that rigorous testing of the actual turf that we would be installing will show that the turf system is safe, Superintendent Beth Hallett told the Inquirer Mirror in March. The renovation of the school system's outdoor athletic facilities sparked debate last September after the school committee approved a plan that consisted of an asphalt track and natural grass field. Since then, hundreds of student-athletes have continued to show up at school committee meetings voicing their opinions about why Nantucket athletes need turf. For months, the topic has dominated public comment at school committee and Board of Health meetings. Several Nantucket High School student-athletes advocated for synthetic turf, while others in the community have continuously expressed serious concerns about the turf field and contamination. The school committee eventually voted to change the plan to a synthetic turf and track, sending the project to the Select Board, which placed Article 12 on the 2026 annual town meeting warrant. The $25 million project will require a 2/3 majority at the May 4th town meeting and a simple majority at the ballot box to pass. That's all I have time for. This is your reader, Chuck Gifford, saying goodbye, and thanks for listening.